Hello, hello, hello. My name is Joel, and I've been working on a comic lately. And I've been working in universes of animations. But I've been a bit lazy with animations due to having to make about 30 pages of a comic. I have sketched out 21 so far, just to highlight the project and the concept. So the story is called City Tale. It's about stores in a city, and it mainly follows a police girl I call Escuri. Her ability is to make rocks float. That's about it, really. And of course, the basic of the story is you're following the hero's journey. The city itself, in regards to world building, follows a bit of the logic of a Sim City, where everything happening is more or less based on the mayor's decisioning, zoning laws, and destruction of private property, and mostly dealing with catastrophes and crime. So, in this regard, I have decided to make a space station where it all takes place, or a space colony, I suppose, because I grew tired of having all of these problematic people on Earth. But I got rid of the whole magical and supernatural community and put it onto this space station I've designed. It's connected to the moon with a space bridge. So, of course, you have the first iteration. Because there was a publisher had a competition going on, so I decided to make a contribution. No, I'm finishing the story. At least the first of many. So here's the second one. You have the same space station connected to the planet down below, and to the moon, where there's also stuff related to the colony. So, and the colony itself is divided into sections. And there's actually here is a once part of one section I made in SketchUp. I usually design scenes depending on what I need. Ja, if you only it will work. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so the whole idea is the publisher suggested you start with the hero's journey. It means you have a hero. I've made a world for the hero to reside in. I have given the hero powers, and I have made up some people and a scenario. Of course, I won't spoil all of that, but you will find it in the links down below. Now, this is where things get fun. Or interesting, depending on how geeky and technologically minded you are. So I have designed this station. So this is the scenery. This is the city itself. So of course it's supposed to have giant walls in between each section in case of atmosphere loss, so we can close it. I haven't made that yet. But the general idea is, at least though, this place is made of many, many segments. And they're supposed to be roughly around, yeah, well, 500 by 500, roughly 500 meters or so in each direction of the tube. It means the idea is to make a tube. So the idea is, design-wise, it's essentially a tube, right? Yeah. So it's at a certain distance. Then it just keeps following that distance until it becomes a complete circle. But the idea is that if you cut these two in half, like so, hang on a minute. I just got a little bit infected. The flu. So let's say if you take a tube like this, right? Nothing special. It's a tube. But the idea holds true nonetheless, right? I was thinking in regards to world design, so you might as well show some of the madness I've embarked upon. Because I need to have a setting with rules before I can actually make a story. Some ideas, as if you have this section, then you can have an underground section. On the side, you put on a mountain area. You carve out stone. In order to reinforce this whole superstructure. And the top, of course, is just a glassish dome. And in this dome, you make doors, sectioning off everywhere. Right? So that if this dome were to break, you can insert the dome breaks. You can make essentially can make it. You can close the door and preserve the oxygen and the pressure in all the sections. So naturally, all of these domes, then all of these sections needs to have a bomb shelters, oxygen tanks, and everything else. And of course, inside each section, there needs to be housing. Lots and lots of housing. And industry based on, well, what is needed in space. So, I suppose that you can have and all of the sections can have all manner of commodities and amenities. So, for example, I was thinking wood. You could totally have wood, but that would be a. But unlike stone, wood and vegetation would be a high value commodity. Because only because it takes time to grow wood. Like space rocks, you can just collect and from elsewhere. But having a habited a greenhouse with growing wood in order to turn it into planks and potentially paper, that would be a bit more problematic. And of course, even if it's a magic world, um, I still have a certain idea. Still like to keep it down to earth. So here's where the fun part gets, right? So let's say this thing has 48 sides. And yes, This is just to explain some of the logic I'm working with. So let's say this circle has 48 sectors. That's where the fun part comes in. You can turn each sector into its own unique biome or scenario as the story is needed. And that regard, of course, you need to have an air ambulance system going on. You need to have mostly floating cars, an artificial sky, and all of that good stuff, right? So that's what I am. So this is what I'm trying. No, what I am highlighting in this third page, right? You see the setting. You see a part of the setting. You notice that it has has floating stuff and a hippogriff. So, so of course I'm telling you this and showing you a bit. And I just, but that's because I want to just explain a bit on how I think in terms of world building and how it should work. For example, everything from a potential power source to what the hell not. So we're in space, of course, light is the best power source. So you could always go with the typical SimCity style where you have a giant dish and beams of light are sent to that dish and absorbed and turned into microwave power. As you know, then you can have disasters where the beam misses or so. So how you get it through the glass, that's a different story because the glass would refract everything. So you don't die from solar radiation in space. As for so I suppose the power source then would be just a lot of solar panels all around the rim. And potentially having a dish and a jail down at the planet down below. That is also an operative idea, you know. And you can play around with the jailbreak. Oh wait, that would be probably spoiling potential ideas. So that is anything new under the sun. So yeah, that's the idea. So then you can the setting goes all the way down here. Of course, you can have space visitors, you know, through the colonies, and of course, can have all sorts of magical manner of creatures. Well, I've been thinking about ranting a bit about how I perceive or prefer to do magic and stats and all of that in another video. So yeah, just wanted to highlight my newest project, City Tales. I draft out the pages, roughly add the text, and upload a Norwegian and an English version onto Patreon down below. And yeah, I will turn this into a full, at least 30 pages album, a bunch of animations, and potentially get it published. I don't know who is going to win the competition yet, but I'm still going to finish the story. I'm Jarl, I'm signing out, and have a nice day.